Hello! How are you doing? We are going to do another vlog. We actually recorded the whole vlog and I looked at it and I looked like I was in a depression the whole time. Or asleep.
Energy level coma. It was where we were at.
So I was like, let's do it again. Let's bring it up a little bit, okay?
Let's kick it up a notch.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all that stuff. It's
Happy Thanksgiving. It's been a minute since we've done this.
Oh yeah, it's been that long.
It's been a while.
Wow. So, well then let me start out by updating you on everything that's happened, okay? For one, we had some more fights. Frank the Tank Mannion, Brian the Go-Go Platypus Reeves, both went out, won in the first round.
Shamrock FC.
Shamrock. It was in devastating fashion. Brian got an armbar and in like a minute and 5 seconds or something, and then 3 seconds faster than him, Frank won by knockout.
Yeah.
They've been giving each other the business all week over that, or month, whatever it's been. Also, we had a tournament this weekend up in St. Joe. Derek Ripley threw one. We went up there. All the Little Reapers that went, every single one of them placed in the top 3. Everybody got medals. We had some kids get first place that have never got first before.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
One of my kids, little Pedro, my business partner's son, actually, he went out and he got a Little Reaper of the Month this month because I thought he had improved more than anybody last month. And he just got a lot better. And we took him up here. He had never won first before. He won first in both divisions. But not only that, he had got hurt and he was really upset and he didn't want to continue in the tournament because him and another kid hit faces really hard. The front of his face hit this other kid's back of his head. So, and he was really upset. He didn't want to continue, and I couldn't console him actually. And they were about to stop the match, and I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't want him to, but there's nothing you can do. And the other coach was Zach Cummings, and Zach actually stepped in and was like, we can give him more time. And the ref was cool with that, so we actually got to finish the match. Pedro actually won.
That's nice.
So it was good. I was really happy. I was like, that was cool of him to do that.
It's nice sportsmanship, especially when it's kids, because
exactly, man.
Parents and coaches just get nuts at that stuff.
Well, hey, if one of my adults was out on the mat crying because he hit his face, then I would have just snuck off the mat. So
you wouldn't have consoled him
for sure. No, I would have been like, JT,
hold on, why me? Why do I have to do
get in there, big guy?
Why? Okay, hold on. Just because I'm here, I understand.
You did it, dude. You threw yourself in.
But why? I didn't.
You threw yourself into the ring. Okay, what else?
I would just be in the corner. I don't know what, Rob.
Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about for sure that cracks me up. Okay, so during this huge break in between vlogs, sorry, I apologize, but man, I had this guy come in. Okay, this old man was walking down the street, and he just walked in, and I was like, hello, sir, how can I help you? And he said, who are you? And I said, my name's Rob Kimmons. And he said, who are you? And for one, me and JT were training, and then a buddy of mine, one of the kickboxing coach at Perseverance, JJ Barnes, he's a retired police detective. He was there as well, training somebody. And this man was like, who are you? And I'm like, well, I'm Rob Kimmons. I'm the owner here, and I'm the head coach. He's like, who are you? And I'm like, wow, man. In my head, I'm like, something's wrong with this guy, and I'm like, trying to be polite. And I'm like, well, I'm with a client. And he's like, well, I have a son that's getting ready to go to the military, and he's a boxer, but he needs to know the other stuff. Can you teach him the other stuff? And I was like, well, yeah, man. And I ran through my resume, and I was like, yeah, dude, I'd love to do that. So here's some information, and have a great day. And he's like, all right, and he leaves. And then JJ was like, man, that guy was weird. He was like, I actually had my weapon ready in case, because he had that look of a crazy person.
You know what I mean? Crazy energy when you're like, there's something wrong with you.
Right, exactly. And so weeks later, weeks go by. And you know what? Things like that every now and then happen in an MMA gym. I've been around for a long time. But typically, a crazy person comes in, says some stuff, they get that out of their system, and you never see them again. Okay, so I'm on the mat. This time I'm training one of my clients, Rachel. And Rachel's on the mat doing setups, and all of a sudden, this man walks in the front door, and I'm like, hello, sir, how can I help you? And this guy's probably in his 20s, And he's dressed in like a nice overcoat and, stuff. Like dressier coat. And and a button-up shirt. And he's like, "Hello, my father came and talked to you." And I'm like, "Okay, awesome. Who's your father?" You know, I talk to a lot of people, you know. And he goes, "An old man." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." You know, and I'm like, what a weird answer, you know? So I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, what did we talk about?" "I don't know." And I'm like, "Oh."
Okay.
I'm thinking there's something wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting the two and two together, you know, that this could be the son of this other crazy person, because crazy people probably have crazy people as kids.
Uh-huh.
Instead, I'm like, "You know what, sir? I'm with a client right now. Was it about training?" "Yeah, probably." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Well, let me give you the information. Here's the schedule. Here's the prices. Here's my card. Just give me a call,
Yeah.
you know, if you have any questions. But right now I'm training somebody." And he's like, "Okay, well, as I'm doing that, the front door opens and in comes that old crazy man." And he goes, first words out of his mouth, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, this guy, man." So I'm like, "Ha ha."
Oh, yeah.
"How are you doing, sir? Well, thanks for coming back in, guys. If you guys have any questions," and the old man says something, you know, I don't remember the conversation. This was almost a month ago, but he said something to the effect of, you know, "Tell my boy about you," or something. And so I was, you know, I was like, "Well, I'm a 7-time UFC vet, and I got 6 titles in 4 weight classes, you know, and I'm a pro boxer, a pro kickboxer. You know, I can help you anywhere. You know, anywhere that you need help. You know, so just give me a call." And I'm like, "It was nice to meet you." I'm walking away, and as I'm walking away, the dad goes, "Oh, I'm getting out of here." I turn around. The dad runs out the front door. The son done took his coat and threw it on the floor, and he's unbuttoning his shirt all theatric like, pulls it off. He's got on his little wife beater and his gold chain on, you know, and he's trying to look all tough. And for a second, I was so stunned, because I was like, what is happening? You know what I mean? And I was like, "What are you doing, man?" And he was like, "Oh, I thought we was about to spar." And he's mad. He's all mad. And I'm like, "What? You thought we were about to spar?" And now I can't even help it. I started shaking. I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm mad." My body realized how mad I was before I did.
Yeah.
I was like, "You want to spar me?" And he was like, "Oh, I thought," but he said, word for word, actually, I haven't told this to everybody, but this part, but he did. He said, "Well, my dad told me that for $50 he was going to get you to kick my butt, you know." And I was like, "Well, then your dad's stupid and you're stupid. Get out of my gym," right?
Yeah.
And when the guy, you know, he was like, "Okay," and I could see he was happy then, and he starts to put his shirt on, and then that's when, you know, like, my pride kicked in. I was like, "Oh no, I think that I'm trying to be a mature person. This dude thinks he just punked me," you know what I mean? And so I'm like, I'm shaking. I go, "No, you want to spar? We'll spar. Come on, let's go." And he was like, "Oh, you will spar me for $50?" And I'm like, and I'm gonna paraphrase, keep this clean, but I was like, "No, it's your lucky day. I'm gonna spar you for free." You know, I might not have said spar, but. And I was wound up, and I had all intentions of smashing this guy. I wasn't thinking of waivers or anything. I was upset, and that's when the dad, you know, came back in. He's like, "Oh," he's looking at his son, and he's like, "Oh." So they're walking out, and I follow them to the door. I didn't walk outside, but you know, at this point, see, it was just me and Rachel. There, you know, if JJ was there, I'd have felt a lot better, because I'm not concerned about. If both those guys would have jumped on me at the same time, we're good. I'm not worried about that. But they're crazy. I was worried about him walking outside grabbing a gun. So I was looking at him through the door, because I wanted to be able to be like, "Rachel, go out the back door," and take off running and get out the back door too, because I'm a tough guy. But I am not Neo. I'm not on the Matrix. You know, I ain't gonna be
No.
bobbing and weaving bullets.
Dodging bullets.
I wasn't that fast at 170. I sure ain't at 250. So, you know, anyways, man, he left, but it was really crazy, man. I was like, what a lunatic. So, and then I thought he friend requested me on Facebook. That was another thing. I was like, is this that guy? But I'm really bad with faces. So I'm bad with names and faces, honestly, but I have a bad memory sometimes, I guess. But so I had to show it to my client. I was like, "Hey, is this guy?" She was like, "No." I was like, "Good,
good.
Thank goodness." Because I didn't want no lunatic coming in shooting my gym up.
No, not at all.
For some imaginary grievance that I didn't even do. I mean, that's what was weird.
Well, what I don't understand is the dad like, oh no, like you know what I mean?
That escalated everything.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, and then
I wouldn't even have known anything was going on.
Yeah,
but when he did that, I was like, what is going?
It would have been different if he came in and said, "Hey, my name's James. My father came in. He's a little crazy. He's a little eccentric, you know." And he would like to sign me up for classes. I'm in the military, like giving you more information. But all he said was, "Hey," and you're like, "Hi, can I help you?"
Oh
and
yeah.
Like, my dad came in here, and he's like, "Well, who's your dad?" You know, instead of saying "Who are you guy," that would have even been more information. Just like some old man. Well, if you're in your 20s,
well, exactly.
You know what I mean, like.
Everything.
Like sometimes
Everything
you just
said,
know a scenario is just not going to go the way it should.
I could see the way things were playing out.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's funny. But you know, to be honest, he did you a favor not beating you out in front of Rachel.
Yeah, that was sweet of him. I would have really been embarrassed if that super tough guy would have beat me up.
The best part was when you were like, "You can leave," and he was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm going."
You know, one other thing. Did I even mention? Did I even talk about me competing on that grappling tournament?
No, not in this one.
Oh, okay, so another thing that happened this weekend is I competed for the first time in like 2 years, and I was really, I was really happy. So good to get back in there and do something. I signed up for 4 divisions, and I did one, and I was done. But I won my bracket. I went against this guy Vega in the finals, and I went against nothing but heavyweights. And then in the finals, it was a bunch of people that was like 250, and then all of a sudden in the finals, it was me and Vega. And Vega's probably 180, 185 or something, I imagine. But so good for him. I mean, he was by far the toughest match, and I mean, I won on points. I couldn't sub the guy. He's really tough, man, and I laid on him. I'm not gonna lie to you. My cardio was horrible. I was trying to get him. The first 3 minutes was all me attacking, and after that, it was all me laying and stalling, man. So if you're watching this, man, sorry. I'm sorry, but I was tired. That's why I pulled out the rest of the tournament. But I'm gonna get ready for that Fuji up in where is that? St. Charles.
Oh, was that?
Yeah, in February. So I'm gonna do that, and I decided that I will not be entering at 250. I'm gonna get down to 220 or maybe the 200 weight class because, I want to try to do something this year in grappling, like some big tournaments. But I realized that having those big people wear you out, man. So,
yeah. But, being big,
yeah,
definitely.
for sure. And me being big didn't help either.
I one time saw a match. It was a judo match, and these two guys, they were probably both about 6'6", 350, 45-year-old dads, and the ref was a guy named Josh Hinges, and the match is going back and forth, and they're scoring, and he stops the match, and he goes, "Do you want to take a minute? Do you want to take a minute?" And let them, and they were both like, "Yes." Yes, and so they both just kind of sat there for a minute. The timekeeper's like, "Oh, are we gonna?" And he was like, "Just pause it real quick." And they literally took a 2-minute break and then finished out the match. I'm like, you know what?
Oh, that's
I like
funny.
that. I
That's
like
awesome.
that for the super heavyweights. Just hey,
so
do you guys
funny.
want a little break? You guys want a little break in
That's
the
funny.
middle of the second round? I was like, that's awesome. That's
Well,
awesome.
Well, I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much. We won't take this long on the next vlog to
We won't?
No, probably not. I get so busy, man. Fallout 4 came out, guys. I apologize, but that has been eating up all my, my extra time. And I got this old copy of Demon Souls. I couldn't find that game forever, so I had to been playing that too, man. I'm a gamer, guys. Sorry. But we'll be back soon. Everyone have a great holiday and a great New Year.
Exactly.
I'm glad he added that. Exactly.
I had something else. Perseverance MMA. I'm trying to promote your
Perseverance MMA.
See, this is what he gets for being a
Exactly.
jerk. I'm good.
You guys have a good one.
Perseverance MMA.